I'm Alan Robarge, a relationship coach. Welcome to Improve Your Relationships, where I like to talk about attachment injuries and healing attachment trauma. And on this video, let's talk about one reason why new relationships do not last. And the answer is because we rush the relationship. We are moving too quickly and trying to fit our partner and fit the relationship into long-term relating. We are skipping the courtship. We are skipping getting to know each other. We are skipping working through some challenges and realizing the prickly, bumpy moments of aspects of things we do not like about our partner or do not like about the relationship. And over time, being able to slowly make sense of those and to come to terms with that and to grapple with a decision and come to a conclusion of, yes, it's totally workable and reasonable, despite the fact it's disappointing or challenging, and therefore I will still choose to be in this relationship because I have inventoried all the other good things and the good connections and the ways that you and your partner are relating ultimately reinforce a go-ahead, gives you the green light towards commitment and the green light towards long-term relationship. And we usually don't set out very clearly saying, yes, I have chosen, this is the person for me, we are going to be in a long-term relationship. Usually what happens is there's a moment where we discover that in retrospect. We could have good intentions, we could have our sense of hope, that we could also just be prepared to have this feeling like, well, I do want to be in a long-term relationship, I am open to that. But when it actually happens, it's not something that we orchestrate and force. It's more something that we live ourselves into. And there will be a time when we have assembled enough history that we can look back and say, oh, we have grown into long-term relationship. We have allowed ourselves to grow into commitment. Many people, and this is the point of this video, especially if you have some insecurity about being vulnerable, if you have some insecurity around a fear of abandonment, if you have insecurity about making yourself available in relationship, that oftentimes what we want is some kind of guarantee. We're scrambling for ground, we're grasping for ground, we're grasping for some permanence and some reliable affirmation that yes, it is okay to move forward and inch closer to commitment and make ourselves vulnerable and practice being intimate. The nature of vulnerability, the nature of openness and intimacy does simultaneously come with a certain amount of fear and a certain amount of uncertainty. And we have to practice working with that uncertainty. And if it creates anxiety, some distress in the form of anxiety, and if perhaps you have an attachment injury or these attachment injuries have gone untreated to the point where you have attachment trauma that's playing out in your relationships, when you have this anxiety, this attachment distress, many times what we want to do is fight against it and find some kind of proof and reliable reassurance that this person is safe, this relationship is safe, that the long-term commitment that you're signing up for is safe. Oftentimes, when we do this in the very early stages of just meeting someone, we are forcing a relationship, and we're forcing believing that we are all on board for the long haul, when in fact, we don't even know each other. We have not dated enough. We have not courted each other enough. We have not allowed ourselves to be playful and go on adventures and explore life together. And so one way that I like to think about this is to say, when you go to dinner, just go to dinner. When you go for a walk on the beach, just go for a walk. When you connect on a Sunday afternoon and go to a coffee shop, just have coffee. So notice how your brain, how your mind is going to be inventorying, taking this inventory of the partner said this and the partner did that and we did, this time and he texted this time or she didn't text, and where our brain is working really hard to notice these patterns of, is this person reliable? Am I getting a certain amount of reassurance that it's safe to trust this person? Those are all naturally very good things. But here's the point of the video, and we can ruin our brand new potential relationship if we're trying to force getting reassurance, and that need for reassurance is getting in the way of actually relating. It gets in the way of being present. It gets in the way of being available. So if you find yourself really scrutinizing and judging your partner to see if they measure up to your idea or ideal of the type of mate that you're looking for, while you're doing that over dinner, you're actually making yourself unavailable. And so you're now unavailable to your partner because you're not participating in the dinner by just having dinner. You're not participating if you go to a sporting event, if you go to a football game. Now you're not at the football game, you're in your head. And you're observing, is the other person going to be the projection or the idea of who you want them to be? And you're setting yourself up to make it the other person's job to monitor and manage your own distress. And the way that you are responding to your distress is through judging the person that you're with. This can kill a new potential relationship very quickly. And if you stay in this pattern and try to create long-term relationship, it can create additional struggle and strife and conflict. So the instruction or the advice in this moment, the suggestion is, can you slow down trying to size up the other person and take an inventory of if they are or are not the correct, the right, the perfect, the ideal long-term partner for you? And you come back to the present moment and say, am I laughing with this person? Are we having meaningful conversation? Is there a sense of adventure and playfulness? Are we experimenting a kind of ease with each other? Am I curious to know more about this person? Is the person that I'm with appear to be asking questions and curious about your life and curious about who you are? And then you come back to the immediacy of whatever it is you're doing. Let's say it's a Sunday afternoon and you decided to go window shopping or walk up and down some nice street that has a bunch of shops and there's an ice cream store there and you get ice cream. When you're getting ice cream, all you're doing is getting ice cream. You're not interviewing a candidate to be your next husband. You're not interviewing a candidate to be your next wife or your next girlfriend. You're just going for a walk and you're just having ice cream. If you can slow down this process of needing to rush a relationship, it's very possible that you'll be able to see the reality of whether or not this person is actually a good candidate or not. I hope that this was helpful. Please leave a comment here if you like this video and want to see more like it. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, if you want to learn more about the online community that I've created, you can do so by going to my website, alanrobarge.com. Thank you for watching.